the opener at Goodwood at 2:10, all 15 ran and there were no jockey changes. Number 10, Zealous Kitten, was sent off, the 7-4 favourite.
They're under starters' orders. They're off.
With a mile and a half ahead of them in this opening race. And Green's Van Goyen is one of the first into his stride. At the other end of the field and slowly away was Prince of Rock after half a furlong. And still climbing with Green's Van Goyen, now headed by Tactical Mission. It's Tactical Mission going on. In company, though, with Zealous Kitten. And Zealous Kitten, the favourite, now takes it up. So after a furlong and a half, Zealous Kitten has gone into the lead, followed by Tactical Mission and Tony's Future now taking second. Right behind those three is China Sky in fourth place. Then comes the early leader, Green's Van Goyen, steadied back to midfield, and being followed by Seal Indigo, with Zaxis there as well. Behind these, Ice Ice Baby, then Galatine. The back markers are Kaluki Queen, Lynchmere Lad, and the last two are God's Mint, and finally Prince of Rock. That's the order after just about half a mile. Now they start climbing again, and it's Zealous Kitten and Pat Edry leading the field by about a length and a half from Tactical Mission, Tony's Future, and China Sky. These are the chasing three. And after them comes Lime Street Nightmare with Green's Van Goyen, Zaxis, and then Have You All Done. With Have You All Done is Seal Indigo, and they've now reached halfway in this Finboard Claiming Stakes. And about to make the downward turn with Zealous Kitten leading. China Sky has now gone second, and then comes Tactical Mission, Tony's Future, and Lime Street Nightmare. After these, Green's Van Goyen. The one who is tailed off at the moment is the blinkered first time Prince of Rock. Downhill they come, and entering the last 4.5 furlongs, Zealous Kitten still leads, but still being chased by China Sky. After them, Tactical Mission, Ice Ice Baby is starting a run up towards the extreme outside. Into the final 3.5 furlongs, and it's still Zealous Kitten over near the rails, followed by Tactical Mission up the centre of the track, and Ice Ice Baby. Lynchmere Lad is trying to close too. China Sky is weakening now as Have You All Done begins a run, and so too does Seal Indigo, travelling very strongly over against the inside rails. And now it's Tactical Mission who's come through under Tom McLaughlin to take it up. A furlong and a half to run, and it's Tactical Mission from Seal Indigo and the favourite Zealous Kitten, and after these Ice Ice Baby, Green's Van Goyen, and Galatine. But Tactical Mission is now being caught by the second favourite, Seal Indigo, and it's Willie Carson and Seal Indigo who are going to take it up towards the line. Seal Indigo gets her first ever win from Tactical Mission, Galatine, and the favourite Zealous Kitten.
First, number 5, Seal Indigo, 3-1 second favourite. Second, number 3, Tactical Mission, 20-1. And third, number 4, Galatine, 16-1. In the 2:40 at Goodwood, all 8 ran and there were no jockey changes. Number 4, Gold Desert, was sent off, the 7-4 favourite.
That looks like it.
They're under starters' orders. They're off.
And racing over these straight 6 furlongs, Showbrook comes out well. All the runners attacking over the race towards the stand-side rails, where Night Acid is very prominent in company with Red Sombrero. And Red Sombrero is just about the overall leader now from Showbrook in second. Gold Desert occupies a good pitch right behind these two towards the outside, together with Amadeus Ace. They completed almost 2 furlongs now, and Showbrook just has the call. Showbrook from Red Sombrero, Gold Desert, and Amadeus Ace. And then come Anna, Fair Cop. Night Acid has dropped back a place or 2, and the only filly, J. Lee, well, she's last of all in 8th place. They're just past halfway now in this Goodwood House Maiden, with the field fairly closely grouped, still headed just by Showbrook from Red Sombrero and the favourite Gold Desert. Making very good ground up on the extreme outside is Fair Cop. Just inside him is Amadeus Ace, but it's Showbrook still from Fair Cop, and then Gold Desert and Amadeus Ace down below the distance, and Fair Cop is finishing best of all, and Fair Cop coming right up on terms now with Showbrook. Showbrook and Fair Cop, but it's Fair Cop just from Showbrook as they near the line. Fair Cop from Showbrook coming back. It's very close between the two. Fair Cop and Showbrook from Amadeus Ace and the favourite Gold Desert.
First, number 3, Fair Cop, the 11-4 second favourite. Second, number 7, Showbrook, 100-30. And third, number 1, Amadeus Ace, 25-1. In the 3:10 at Goodwood, all 9 ran and there were no jockey changes. Favourite at 13-8 was number 7, Satin Flower.
And they're running. They've gone a couple of 100 yards already. Romola Nijinsky is the first one out of the stalls and is making the early running, followed by Noble Destiny and Sipsy Vark. Then after these three comes the second favourite, Fife, with midfield just after her, Fragrant Hill. Right behind Fragrant Hill on the inside is Angel Love, and the last three are the favourite Satin Flower with Third Watch and Absent Relative. But it's Romola Nijinsky who is dictating the pace by 2 lengths from Noble Destiny in second. Sipsy Vark settled in third. In 4 comes Fife, then 5 Angel Love, 6 Fragrant Hill. In 7th place, the market leader Satin Flower, 8 now Absent Relative, and relegated to 9th and last Third Watch. They're still climbing along over on the far side, led by Romola Nijinsky and Michael Roberts by about 2 lengths from Noble Destiny. And then after those two comes Fife, making a little headway on the outside of Sipsy Vark. These are now 3 and 4. With Fragrant Hill next in 5, Angel Love 6, still showing in 7th place is Satin Flower. 8 and 9 are Absent Relative and Third Watch. Now they're coming to the halfway point of this listed loopy stakes, with Romola Nijinsky continuing to set it, having made all so far, and Michael Roberts now kicking on again, and he's gone a good 2 to 3 lengths up on the rest, still headed by Noble Destiny. They're now inside the final half mile. Romola Nijinsky still with the advantage ahead of Noble Destiny. Fife trying to get on terms, as to Fragrant Hill. And Satin Flower is starting her run up on the outside. She's the one in the white cap, and they're all bunching now just behind the leader, Romola Nijinsky, who is being caught. The leader caught by a whole pack of horses, including Fragrant Hill, Satin Flower, Sipsy Vark and Fife. After their Noble Destiny, but it's Satin Flower the favourite, and Fragrant Hill down to the distance. Sipsy Vark finishing well over on the far side, and there's nothing in it now between those three. Satin Flower on the outside, the nose banded Fragrant Hill, who just has the edge now, and Sipsy Vark. But it's going to be Fragrant Hill and Ray Cochrane just. Fragrant Hill wins the loopy from Sipsy Vark, Satin Flower the favourite, and the second favourite, Fife.
First, number 4, Fragrant Hill, 33 to 1. Second, number 7, Satin Flower, 13 to 8 favourite. And third, number 3, Fife, at 5 to 2. Following an steward's inquiry into this race, the result was amended. The second past the post, number 8, Sipsy Vark, was disqualified from second and placed 4th. Jockey Richard Quinn begins a 4-day ban on the 31st of May for careless riding. In the 340 at Goodwood, all line ran and there were no jockey changes. Favoured at 3 to 1 was number 6, Prohibition.
They're under starters' orders. They're off.
In the Weathercourt Stakes, 6 furlongs the trip, and they're all tacking over to race towards the standside rails, where Maryhill Maid shows good early speed in company with Choir Practice. Out towards the outside of these two is in the papers. They're being tracked by a Thornfield Boy. But Maryhill Maid and now Thornfield Boy with Prohibition. These are the first 3. And then comes Choir Practice within the papers as they come down to complete the second furlong, with after those leaders Lucideo tucked in just behind on the rails. And then up towards the wide outside, Frimley Parks, and the back markers at the moment are Bertie Wooster with Grand Prix. They're just past halfway now in the Weathercourt Stakes, with the whole field very tightly grouped together, with Prohibition, Thornfield Boy and Maryhill Maid still the 3 principals. Lucideo is all dressed up and trying to get a run through. And then after him, Choir Practice, who's got to be switched to the outside. And then after these, Bertie Wooster starting a run too. In the papers is now last. Choir Practice gets the split and comes through very strongly with Grand Prix as well. And it's Grand Prix now taking it up. Grand Prix has gone into the lead under Steve Cawthon, up towards the line. And it's Grand Prix and Steve Cawthon from Choir Practice, Bertie Wooster, and then Prohibition.
First, number 7, Grand Prix, 16 to 1. Second, number 1, Choir Practice, 9 to 2. And third, number 2, Bertie Wooster, 8 to 1. In the 410 at Goodwood, all 13 ran and there were no jockey changes. Number 4, Farron Manure, was sent off, the 3 to 1 favourite.
They're under starters' orders. They're off.
With a shade over 2 miles to travel, and Tropical Ace is the first one out of the stalls, followed closely by Circuit Rig and Out of Funds, and after these 3, Crabby Bill settled in 4. 5 and moving up to join the leaders now is Rajanpur, midfield Jinga. And then after Jinga, who heads the weights, comes Lady Westgate in company with Faramina, and the back markers are Bally Knight with Sanford Springs. And also towards the rear are Harrig with Prince Sober. They completed the first 2 furlongs or so now, and Rajanpur has come through now to take it up. Rajanpur has gone on from the early leader Tropical Ace without a fun, still there in 3rd and in 4th place. Circuit Ring 5 is now Jinga. In 6 is Lady Westgate, who at 7 is the senior runner. And then after her come Crabby Bill with Nocturnal Reverie, Sanford Springs and Faramineur right against the rails, and the final 3 are Ballin Knight with Prince Sober, and last of all in 13th place as they begin to make this uphill turn races Harik. So they race right-handed and up the hill now with Rajanpur and Gary Bardwell continuing to take them along, just about a length and a half clear of Tropical Ace, remaining second. Out of Funds is very close up in 3rd place. Right after these 3 is Circuit Ring, and then Jinga with Lady Westgate. The mare then behind Lady Westgate, and a gap of some 2 to 3 lengths comes Faramineur with Nocturnal Reverie and also Sanford Springs. They're getting somewhat strung out as they enter the final 9 furlongs of the race, with the 2 principals, Rajanpur and Tropical Ace, still followed by Out of Funds, and they're now at halfway in this Kinksome handicap. With Rajanpur, Gary Bardwell from Tropical Ace, and Steve Dawson, Tropical Ace, one of the 3 fillies. And those 2 leaders are being followed by Out of Funds and Circuit Ring, then Lady Westgate and Jinga making ground. Sanford Springs is not far behind, then comes Nocturnal Reverie, with Crabby Bill, Faramineur, Ballin Knight, and the last 2 Prince Sober, and still in rear, last of 13, is Harik. They're almost at the top of the hill. They're inside the last 3/4 of a mile, and Rajanpur leads by a length and a half from Tropical Ace and Out of Funds. And then Sanford Springs, Jinga continuing to progress. Lady Westgate is not far after these. And then comes another filly, Sanford Springs. They're racing downhill with the blinkered Rajanpur still out in front from Tropical Ace. Circuit Ring now goes 3rd past Out of Funds. Sanford Springs is making a very good run on the outside. And with Sanford Springs is the top weight Jinga. They're now inside the final half mile. They're beginning to bunch and they're fanning out across the track, with over on the inside Rajanpur now being caught by Sanford Springs. Jinga is finishing very well and also staying on just behind the leaders up towards the outside, Nocturnal Reverie, with Harik making ground hand over fist. He was last of all early on. Inside the final quarter, anybody's race with Rajanpur still at the head of the field. Rajanpur from Jinga, Harik, and now Crabby Bill making a run into the final furlong. Rajanpur still, but only just, and Faramineur is flying at the death into the final half furlong. Rajanpur from Faramineur and Circuit Ring. Rajanpur just hangs on from Faramineur, Circuit Ring, and in 4th place is Crabby Bill.
First, number 12, Rajanpur, 25 to 1. Second, number 4, Faramineur, 3 to 1 favourite. And third, number 7, Circuit Ring, 8 to 1. In the next at Goodwood, the 4:45, all 9 ran and there were no jockey changes. Number 1, Abdicate, was sent off, the 7 to 4 favourite.
They're under starters' orders. They're off.
7 furlongs ahead of them, and Abdicate comes out very fast, so too Sweet Soul Dream. And after half a furlong or so, they're pretty well strung out already, and it's Sweet Soul Dream taking them along. And leading by a good 2 to 2.5 lengths from Abdicate. Rising is settled right behind these in 3rd place, and then after a gap comes Sweet Circle, Sharp Circle rather, in 4th. After her, Affair to Remember and Kincherin Chi, then Web Spinner, and the last 2 are Penny Dream, and finally, last of all, races Maria Donia, but it's Sweet Soul Dream who is still making it. Sweet Soul Dream followed by the favourite Abdicate, and then Arising very close now in 3rd place as they begin to level up for home and come towards the halfway point of this Boxgrove Maiden Fillies Stakes, with Sweet Soul Dream and Simon Whitworth still making it from Abdicate and Arising. Making good headway over towards the inside now is a Sharp Circle. Coming down towards the final quarter, and Arising now comes through to show in front. Arising has taken up the running from Abdicate, and after these 2 comes a Sharp Circle still in with a chance, and then Sweet Soul Dream. Web Spinner, and then behind Web Spinner comes Penny Double. After Penny Double, Affair to Remember, the other 2 are totally out of it, but Abdicate has come bursting through now to show ahead, and it's going to be Abdicate and Frankie Dettori. Abdicate, the favourite, opens her winning account. Close to second and third, Sharp Circle, and Arising within 4th, Penny Double.
First number 1, Abdicate, the 7-4 favourite. Second number 7, Sharp Circle, 7-1. And third number 3, Arising, 11-2. In the last at Goodwood, the 5:20, all three ran and there were no jockey changes. Number 3, Zigora, started the 4-9 favourite.
Did all three in?
They're under starters' orders. They're off.
With 7 furlongs to travel, and Carroll's Express, the outsider of the three, comes out first and is making the early running, followed by Flit, with held up at the back of the field the odds-on Zigora. They're nearing the end of the first furlong. Carroll's Express now by only half a length from Flit and then Zigora. Carroll's Express in the very pale green and white colours nearest the rails, then Flit with the pink cap, and finally, with the blinkers on for the first time, Zigora. After just over 2.5 furlongs, it's still Carroll's Express in the frame in all her 5 races to date. She leads from the debutante Flit, with remaining the back marker, the most experienced of this trio, that's Zigora. They're now at halfway in this Boxgrove Maiden Filly Stakes, and levelling up for home as they approach the 3 furlong pole. Carroll's Express is only just in front now from Flit, and still tracking these two is Zigora, runner-up to Mystico on her reappearance. Down to the final quarter now. Carroll's Express and Flit still, with Zigora right behind them. Down towards the last furlong and a half now. Carroll's Express bidding to make all. Flit trying to get on terms. Zigora now coming through. But as they come inside the final furlong, Carroll's Express is now being challenged by Zigora. And it's Zigora, the odds-on favourite, coming through now to go past Carroll's Express, up towards the line. And Zigora completes a double for David Ellsworth and Steve Cawthon. She wins her first. Carroll's Express is second, Flit third.
First number 3, Zigora, the 4-9 favourite. And second number 1, Carroll's Express.